My next guest once again made some history this past weekend, becoming one of the first Canadians to ever headline an LFA card, and he's coming away with a win, getting the victory over Andre Petroski on October 16th at LFA 93. Of course, I'm talking about Aaron Jeffery. Who else has a mullet like that? Aaron, how's it going?
I'm well, man. How are you?
I'm doing well too. Huge win over the weekend. We'll talk about it in 1 second here, but I wanted to go with, how this all came together. I know when we had spoken last, you came off that win in Florida. There was talk about you trying to fight for a UFC Fight Pass promotion. When did you get the notice about this fight? Because it kind of came together pretty quickly. We didn't even have time to do like a pre-fight interview.
Yeah, I know. It was quick. I just saw, I don't know, who tweeted this. Maybe it was you. One of the media guys said it was only like 60 or 61 or 62 days or something in between fights. So it was a pretty quick turnaround, which I need though, because that was my first fight of the year in August. So I need to get active here. But I found out maybe a week and a half before the fight was announced. So probably just about 4 weeks out. So it wasn't like super short notice, but somewhat.
And what was it like to get that opportunity? I mean, you've been on Contender Series before, but to headline an LFA card, like that's about as big as a deal as you can get on the regional scene. Like, were you aware kind of like the magnitude of that? Like, you're on the poster, like that must have been pretty cool for you.
Yeah, I don't think it didn't sink in at first, that's for sure. Like, I knew LFA is a big promotion, headlining it's super cool and whatever, but I have some buddies that are more kind of like hardcore fans, as you would say, and they're sending me like Reddit threads, tons of people talking about me, people posting like their UFC Fight Pass screen with my face on it. So yeah, it's super cool for sure.
What was the game plan heading in? Did you know much about your opponent when you stepped in there?
Yeah, I knew he's a really good wrestler, wrestled in college, probably wrestled his whole life. Most of his fights, he's getting takedowns, beating guys up on the ground, so I knew he was going to come out shooting. Game plan was pretty much sprawl and brawl. He took me down a few more times than I would have liked, but turned out okay.
Was that something that surprised you? You mentioned his wrestling, so I'm sure you knew the takedown was coming, or at least that's what he was going to try and do. But was there anything else about him that you weren't expecting in the fight?
The thing that surprised me about the takedowns that he was shooting those blast doubles. A lot of his other fights, fighting against orthodox guys, he was shooting that single on the lead leg. So I was expecting that, but he got me with a few good blast doubles. I think the striking surprised me a bit too. Hit me with a few clean left hands, which caught me off guard a bit.
Were you happy with your performance? I mean, it's another finish, but I remember the last fight. You're like, you know what? I got the win, but it wasn't my best performance. How would you rate this performance?
Right after the fight, I was kind of pissed off about it. I thought, felt like I got beat up on the feet a little bit more than I would have liked, especially against a wrestler and a guy who I think my striking is a lot better than. I rewatched it. I don't think it was that bad, but I still think I have a lot of potential. I think there's a lot I'm not showing so far.
Okay. And how did you celebrate after the win?
Not much, man. COVID stuff. There's not a lot we can do.
Back in the hotel, probably have a few drinks.
Back in the hotel, just having a few brewskis. That's about it.
That's good. And when did you get back to Canada?
The day after the fight, so it would have been Saturday at like midnight. I finally got back to Tillsonburg.
Okay, and then obviously you got a quarantine, right? So what is it, 14 days, or how long do you have to stay? 14
days, man, 14 days.
That's crazy, because this is the second time you had to do this, right? So it's like you're getting a lot of time just probably catching up on Netflix and getting to hang out with me and things like that, you know?
Yeah, if you want to give me another call later this week, I'll
sure, yeah, we'll do a follow-up. We can talk about some other stuff. No,
yeah,
but
that's a full month out of my year now that I'm stuck in my home, so that's not
But that's
cool.
what you have to do, and I think, good on you for taking advantage of this opportunity. It was on Fight Pass, so, people can't say, hey, I can't find your fight. It's for LFA. I mean, I don't know how many, half the UFC roster is LFA alumni, so that always looks good on the resume as well too.
Yep.
I also saw you got some props from Brendan Allen on Instagram. He was congratulating you on the victory. I know you guys had fought before. What's it like, seeing someone like him that really respects you?
It's cool, man. Him and Sean Brady both. I kind of chat a little bit back and forth with those guys, and it's cool. I like the respect like that.
Yeah, and I think, both guys still don't have a loss in the UFC, so that's pretty cool that, those are your only two losses. So I think people got to look at that on the resume as well. Now, I know your manager's always on the pulse of what's going on. Any word from the UFC yet? Because I know the last fight, I think it was McMaynard or someone said, got to get another one in there. Have they seen the fight? I'm assuming they have.
I would think so. But yeah, I haven't spoke to Dodge yet this week, but I'm sure I'll be hearing from him soon. I don't know, the LFA guys on the commentary right away said they'll see me in a title shot soon, and then what's that guy's name? Kyle Stewart, is that his name?
Yes, Kyle Stewart. Yeah.
Yeah, he called me out super classy as well, asked for a title shot. So I don't know if like UFC has anything to do with that, like if they're saying they want to see me fight a title fight first, but I don't know, man. I hope I get the call, but I'll do whatever I got to do.
Is it possible? I haven't really checked. Is it possible Contender Series could be an option too if someone falls out? I'm not sure if there's any middleweight fights booked. You would know better than me.
Yeah, maybe. Contender Series seems kind of risky at this point. I don't know. I think, like, God forbid, if I went 0-2 on Contender Series, I think
that's true. I guess if you stay in LFA, then the focus is more on you. Like, you could, I guess, a title shot in LFA, you're the main event. It's not like you're competing with other fighters for a contract, right?
Yeah, exactly. Okay. And I feel like, the LFA, like, title fight, I think, is essentially a shot at the UFC, I think. But, again, I'm hoping I just get the call now.
Well, it is. If my memory serves me correct here. Okay, Marcus Perez, LFA middleweight champion in the UFC. Ian Heinisch, LFA middleweight champion in the UFC. Anthony Hernandez, LFA middleweight champion in the UFC. And Brendan was an LFA champ as well. So it just goes to show, I think that's kind of the way to get in. And again, if you were to fight for the title next, it's against a guy in Kyle Stewart who was already in the UFC. So, it would be another UFC vet that you would be potentially facing. So yeah. So, I mean, I think you're in a good spot, Aaron. I mean, honestly, coming off that win, and if the title's next, I think that's a really good opportunity. Do they know when that fight could take place? Would it take place this year or next year?
I have no idea. I haven't, like I said, I haven't talked to my manager. I haven't talked to anyone from LFA. So I'm sure we'll find out here in the next few days.
Okay. And have you seen much of Kyle Stewart? Like, have you thought about that potential matchup if you were to fight him?
No, I haven't seen much, but I know he's got a decent record. He was in the UFC. He's fought some tough guys, so I'm sure that'll be a tough fight too.
He was always a big welterweight, so I think middleweight's definitely the better weight class for him. If you remember, he had a really tough cut in his debut. He fought who did he fight at welterweight? He fought, I want to say, Chance Rencounter. I think he fought him. Okay. And he didn't end up. I think he went like it was either 0-2 or 0-3 in the UFC. But still, getting to the UFC is one thing, and that always looks good on the resume.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, for sure. And I guess his only losses are in the UFC then too. So.
Yeah. No, he had. I think he had a loss on the regional scene to James Nakashima, I think, as well. And I only know that because I interview all the LFA guys. So don't worry about it. It's not common knowledge, so that's fine. I got to ask about
know more than me.
A little bit. I try and keep tabs. Where did the mullet thing come from? Because this is new.
I don't know, man. During the whole COVID thing, I was just letting my hair grow just because it was the COVID hair. And then I got back into the gym and I was training and I had this like stupid little top knot thing that I hated and it was always in my face and super annoying. But I liked having long hair, so I figured I would just chop the top off and leave the back, and it worked out perfectly. And
I think it looks great, man. And I'm, obviously I'm a married guy, I'm straight, but I think it looks awesome. It's worked for Tanner Bozer. I think Bozer's been even better since, sort of running with the mullet. Now, if I'm wrong, did he comment on something? I thought he noticed your picture. I think MMA Empire tweeted something about that.
Oh,
I think so, or I think he at least saw it. I swear I saw something there. So
maybe.
I think you should keep it, man. It makes you unique, right? So
yeah, for sure.
Let's run with it. How's by the way, how's Vlad doing? Because they're obviously doing 254 this Saturday. I'm sure he's down there doing the stuff for the UFC. Right?
Yeah, he's good. But man, everyone I've talked to that's been at Fight Island complains about how boring it is. I mean, first world problems to the extreme. But everyone's saying they're just bored. There's not much to do. Everything's shut down. They can't really do a whole lot. The sleep schedule is horrible. I don't know.
There you go. So you dodged a bullet. And sort of on that note as well, I guess you'll stay ready just in case a UFC call-up does come up, because there might be an opportunity where, instead of doing the LFA title, maybe they need a middleweight on short notice, and you're always ready. And and the other key thing is you have your visa stuff sorted out. That's why you got that LFA fight, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Shout out to Matt Dodge. That's one of the things I like about him is that with all the fighters he reps, all the Canadians, he has you guys kind of lined up to have fights in the States, whereas a lot of other Canadians don't get those opportunities. So you must feel pretty good about that. That you have more opportunities than say the average fighter, which is great. So
yep, he's a smart man.
Well, I mentioned that Zach Powell, pretty impressive win a couple weeks ago. I know you train with him. How talented is this kid?
He's good, man. He's very good. He just started training at NTT. He has no wrestling background, and he's already a great wrestler, just kind of natural ability. So I think he's got a ton of potential too, and I think he's going to grow a lot being at our gym.
And I asked him sort of the same question I'll ask you here. What's it like being a part of this sort of new, sort of happening gym in Canada at Niagara Top Team? You guys are really making some waves yourself. Anthony Romero, you've got Zach, you've got Jazz. It's pretty cool to see that because, when we think of Canadian gyms, we think of, TriStar, and we think of some of the other gyms out west. But you guys are really making a name for yourself.
For sure, man. I said this in an interview before. I think there's a few of us that are right on the doorstep, and if more than one of us breaks through here, like I think Romero's going to be in the UFC very soon. I'm hoping I am. I think Jazz is also right there. Maybe Powell gets on Contender Series. If we have like 2, 3, 4 of us fighting on UFC events, that's huge. I don't know of how many gyms in Canada have done that other than like TriStar maybe.
Yeah, no, it's really impressive. So what's the plan for the next couple of days? What do you do to occupy yourself quarantine wise?
Not much, man. My mom is cooking a lot, so I'm eating a lot of food, but trying to keep it reasonable to stay like somewhat around my weight class. I don't know, running, walking, boring stuff, reading books.
How's the lockdown stuff in Ontario? Because I know out here in BC, everything's been fine since basically June, but I see that they're trying to crack stuff down even more in Ontario now because the cases are going up.
Yeah, so I guess the GTA just kind of like moved backwards. Like they closed down all their gyms again. I think like restaurants and bars closed down again. That's just the Toronto area, I think, though. But I don't know if that's going to start like spreading out to where we are too. I hope not, man. It sucks.
Well, if not, make another trip out west. There's a lot of gyms out here you could train at. There's Revolution, and there's Sound of Squamish. So there you go.
Yeah,
so,
for sure.
Cool.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Aaron, really appreciate the time, man. I know you got plenty to do, plenty of nothing, I should say. But really appreciate the time as always. Just if you got anyone you want to thank, any sponsors, any social media, the floor is yours, man.
Yeah, big thank you to you for having me on again. Thanks to LFA for giving me that opportunity. That's super great. All my friends, my family, my girlfriend, my teammates, coaches, my manager, Dodge Sports, everyone who supported me. It means a lot.